Our first new Oki Service Award is the Calamos Service Award for a Greek American who served honorably in the Vietnam War. Introducing the first recipient of this award is the man after whom the award is named, decorated Vietnam veteran, chairman of the National Hellenic Museum, and founder and chairman of Calamos Investments, John Calamos.
I would first like to thank the Washington Oki Day Foundation for their honorable work and to congratulate them on their 10th anniversary. I'm exceptionally grateful to the foundation for honoring me last year with the Jahar's Service Award, especially because I was the first Vietnam veteran to be honored. In my acceptance speech, I talked about the unfortunate treatment Vietnam vets received when we returned home despite the sacrifices we had made. During my tour in Vietnam as a forward air controller, I flew Cessna 02 Skymasters, controlling airstrikes to support our ground troops, and I was always proud to wear my United States Air Force uniform. When it was time for me to fly home, this time as a passenger, my commander told me not to wear my uniform on the airplane to avoid stirring reactions from other passengers. Our homecomings were anything but warm, and our service was often overlooked, even by our families. Receiving recognition by my service for 50 years later was a very important moment, and I have both the Manitos's and Jahar's families to thank for that. Following last year's ceremony, the Oki Day Foundation decided it would honor a Vietnam veteran every year with the Calamos Service Award. Having an award established in my name to specifically honor Vietnam veterans is a tremendous honor, and I'm especially proud to announce it on this 80th anniversary of Oki Day and a milestone anniversary for the Greek people. I can think of no better first recipient of the Calamos Service Award than the Flying Greek, Steve Posanos, who served in World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War. He and I shared a proud history as Air Force pilots and recipients of this Distinguished Flying Cross. As you will learn in the tribute to follow, the story of Steve Posanos is an outstanding example of Greek American story. It's about hard work, wanting more to yourself and your family, and unwavering commitment to our country. To help preserve Mr. Posanos' legacy for generations to come, I'm honored to have co-sponsored a short film about him titled The Medal Behind the Merit. In cooperation with the Distinguished Flying Cross Society, we had premiered the film at the National Hellenic Museum, where I serve as chairman of the board. Prior to his passing, Steve Posanos donated items from his personal collection to one of the National Hellenic Museum's exhibits entitled The Greek Story in America, which illustrates the important contribution of Greek Americans to the military. I am proud to be part of bringing Mr. Posanos' story to life for future generations and to present the inaugural Calamos Service Award to his son Jeff on his behalf. The Calamos Service Award by the Oki Foundation right now is to honor Vietnam veterans. My service was really in Vietnam, where I flew over 400 missions, over 800 hours of combat time. I was really proud to defend our nation. I think what moved me about Steve's story was his autobiography, phenomenal story. Being a Greek immigrant, coming to America, serving in World War II, he served in England, he served in that, also serving in the Korean War, and then serving in Vietnam. I thought it was just amazing to have that kind of history and that experience that he had.
My father's life started in Athens, Greece. As a child, he was walking outdoors one day and noticed this biplane in the air doing aerobatics. And he watched this plane, and he watched this plane. And he thought to himself, he says, that's it. He says, I am going to become a military aviator. He realized his greatest opportunity to meet his goal was to try to make it to America. Arriving in New York, I did get a job in a bakery. On weekends, he would take what he earned and took flying lessons. Eventually made it to the RAF, where they took him in as a pilot officer. He ended up becoming an aviator. He spent 30 years in the United States Air Force, retired as a full colonel. Nothing could stop my father from doing what he wanted to do. If you look up the definition of courage, it is defined as a man with no fear. That was my father. He had no fear. And I know he told me on many, many missions that he went on that he flew with courage and no fear. On one of his missions to Bordeaux, France, returning, his engine quit. At about 22,000 feet, you just don't bail out of an aircraft. So he took the aircraft down to about 5,000 feet, removed himself from the cockpit to the wing of the aircraft where he was going to jump. He struggled to pull the cord loose, and then he realized as he looked up that the aircraft was about 500 feet off the ground. He had no chance to jump, and so he reached inside the cockpit, grabbed the stick of the aircraft, pulled it back, went over the barn, stalled the aircraft, and crash landed. He was thrown from the wing, dislocated his shoulder, and the Germans had seen him come down and started firing at him. He evaded the Germans until the French underground picked him up and kept him for 6 months. Paris was liberated, and then all the pilots made their way back to England. My dad's proudest moment in his lifetime was May 3rd, 1943, London, England. He was the first American citizen naturalized on foreign soil. His last assignment in 1970 was to be chief of the Air Force mission in Athens, Greece. He thought that was the greatest assignment that he could ever receive. It was a full circle for him, from Athens to the United States, back to Athens. I think my father would be very appreciative and very proud that you have bestowed this award, the first Calamos Service Award, on him. I know that he's received a lot of awards in his lifetime, but this being a special award from a Greek organization will make him proud.
He really honored our country. He lived the American dream, the way he put it, and he got the Distinguished Flying Cross as well. I thought that was really special. Steve Posanos, with his phenomenal career in being a Vietnam veteran, to receive this award this year.
Yasu friends, my name is Jeff Posanos. I want to thank the Washington Ohi Day Foundation for presenting the first Calamos Service Award to my father, Steve Posanos, the Flying Greek. I am honored and privileged to accept this award for him, and I know you have made him proud. Thank you.
Thank you and congratulations.